Hi everyone, Jeb here with Earth and Turf. Today we're going to go over uncrating a drop spreader. This will be applicable for the 3, 4, and 5 foot models. In other words, the model 36, 48, and 60. The 72 does change around a little bit just because it's crated differently. I wanted to point out the tools that you'll need. This is going to be pretty simple. A hammer right here and a pry bar, as well as a utility knife or pocket knife to cut some of the plastic off the outside here. When you get this piece, it likely came on a freight truck. It may have dropped down like a lift gate or something along those lines. That way you could receive it at the ground level, and if you didn't have a forklift, if you do have a forklift, you can just pick it off the truck, take it to a place that you can work, which might be out in the open, might be in your garage, whatever it is, and then it's pretty straightforward. So we're going to dive in here, take the plastic off, and then bust apart the crate, and we'll get it together so that it's ready for action. First thing I'm going to do is come in with my, this is just a pocket knife, but I'm going to come in here and we're going to cut off all this plastic. This is just kind of to weatherproof everything, also to make sure nothing's coming in or out of the crate unintentionally. You know, not that there's anything really that happens, but we found that it's definitely better to plastic wrap everything. It's very simple. I'm going to take my knife up the side like this. Should be pretty easy to slice apart. Then I'm going to go back this 2x4 right here. Because it's stretch wrapped, it's pretty tight, it's stapled together. So I'm going to pull this around, and then I really don't need to butcher everything and make a mess. You can see what I can do here. It'll just pull through the staples, it's very easy. Like so. Make sure you get that stretch wrap off of there. Little knot hanging on. There we go. Alright. Pull it again, popping through the staples. Plastic off, and then I'm just gonna take this plastic for now and set it to the side, just because we don't need it anymore. That would be trash, or if you have a project that you need plastic for, there you go. The rest of the crate is gonna be rather easy. However, it may have a little bit of a complication. So this is just rough cut lumber. It's nothing fancy. You're going to come in and pry apart every aspect of it. There's not the specific order. There you can see it's kind of crated from the bottom with a pallet style frame and then built up and crated around there. So I'm going to start at the top and just work my way down. Again, there's no specific order that you have to work with. It should be pretty easy to get those nails out. That's where we're going to start with the hammer and the pry bar as needed. As you're going, one of the things you want to look out for are just nails that are sticking out. You can see these stayed in. Some of them stayed in the crate itself. Just look out for them. Make sure you're safe. I want to make sure I set that nail side down on top of the other one. Now that we've got the top off, I'm actually going to take the front off of this one, and then we can just roll the spreader off the front. There's no need to disassemble all the way around the spreader. Once you've got the most of the face taken off, you're going to take these face boards off right here. That way you get a little bit more access to roll the spreader off. The goal there is to remove this face board so we can get this out of the way. And I'm actually going to engage the spreader so the handle's out of the way. I'm going to come in the side here. Now that we've got this one loose, just a matter of prying it off. The front one, I'm going to pry off. Like so. Again, watch your nails. And I'm going to leave this side in place structurally. Watch those nails, be very careful. You can hit those back out for safety. In this case, I know that they're there and I'm not planning to get near most of them, except I'm going to hit these All right, one more board out the way, no nails in that one. Then we'll come over and do the same thing on this side. All right, again, watch for these nails. If they are nasty, I'm gonna go nails down right into another piece of lumber, and I'm gonna hit these back through. Once you've got everything ready to slip the hitch in, you're gonna come to the back. Now this one has a lid. Yours may or may not have a lid, and it may have the hinge style lid that's on our stainless steel series, but either way, this one has this kind of lid. I'm gonna lift it like this, and I'm actually just gonna slide this back carefully and rest it there. That's made to go there, so you don't have to worry about that. I wouldn't really operate it like that because it'll flap like so, but you can just leave that on the back nonetheless. Inside, I've got my owner's manual that you can put in a safe place. You can read through there for some setup instructions as well. I'm going to grab the hitch that should be rested in there and pull that out. And in this spreader, you'll see 2 bags of lime. This is just garden lime. It's not harmful. There's a strange reason for this. Right now, we're having some discrepancies with the trucking companies where they're shipping based on density. So they wanted it to be heavier. That's why there's lime in here. You're welcome to use it, dispose of it, whatever. It's just the cheapest way to get around some of the freight difficulties that we have. Some of these rates are a little bit confusing, so I'm hoping this is temporary, but just so that you know, that's why those bags of lime are in there. Again, you can throw them out or put them to use as you wish. This hitch is really easy to work with, so I'm gonna pull this pin out like that. And I'm just gonna hang this right here just to rest it. And I'm gonna take the pin, or I'm sorry, the hitch, the drawbar. You can see that there are 3 different settings that you can pick from. Slide it back in here, nice and easy. And I'm gonna run this one all the way in just because it's a little shorter and easier to work with there. Look at that, I lined it up almost perfect. Wiggle it through, and then you can attach the pin again like so. That's all you need to do to actually tow the spreader. There's no mechanical things or anything nuts and bolts wise. You just slide that pin in and you're good to go. If you prefer, you can adjust this hitch up and down. I do have a little bit of an explanation video on that. It's set in the middle right now. You might go upward if you have a higher up towing vehicle with a higher hitch, or downward for something lower, more like a lawnmower. We don't want to get into that right now. I'm just going to roll this thing off and make sure it's ready to spread. Now we've got the spreader with the hitch in, I'm actually going to put the lid back on. You can lift up the back there and then go into position. It's going to hook from the front side onto the back, and then I'm going to latch it down just so that it stays in place. Make sure your latches line up like so. I'm also going to put this back into the off position just because it doesn't need to be on right now. Not that that's super important, but it just doesn't need to be. Then you can pick this up like so and pull it forward. Something that I like to do, this is a personal preference, is to use one of these pins right here. I'm going to go down in. You can have one of those ahead of time. They're available at any Tractor Supply or local farm supply store. And I'm going to slip the cotter pin in the bottom like so. And that actually gives me a little handle to work off of. I wouldn't put too much pressure on here, but just because it's hand pressure, that's no problem. I'm going to actually use this as a handle to lift. And then I'm going to pull it forward. Like so. And down we go. Now, the spreader is not going to roll until the lime is out of the spreader. That's just because the auger is stuck in position. I am going to point out this whole crate and pallet, you can burn, you can use for firewood, you can discard, whatever you need to do with that pallet is fine. It is not necessary anymore. From here, everything's incredibly simple. I'm going to pop the lid back off, like so, and hang it on the back, being careful there. I'm going to go out with the lime. One bag instead of the side, the other bag instead of the side. Now that I've got the bags of lime out, some of it did spill into there specifically because I tried to move it forward while the lime was in there and it burst open from the auger's pressure. Checking that out, you can see a little bit of lime there from the bag, so you can see how the auger works. As I pull it forward, it's going to move like so. Very, very simple. It doesn't have to move when in reverse, but it does have to move when one wheel is moving forward. From here, we're actually going to hitch up the spreader. So I'm going to take the pin out of the drop spreader and hitch it up like so. Drop the hitch pin in and then put my cotter pin in the bottom. From there, we've got the spreader in position, and I'm actually going to throw this lime in. Right like that. Now we've got the lime in there, I'm going to bring my lid up and close it so that we don't get a lot of that dust, because we've got enough dust around here. One latch, two latch. We can take it from there and go out and spread. That's about all there is to these spreaders. If you have any more questions, please reach out to either the dealer or sales rep that you bought it from. We're happy to answer any questions. The setup's pretty simple and the operation is pretty simple as well. Feel free to check out our other videos for more information on our drop spreader line. Thanks for watching.